Hi, I'm Denise Cresswell, a member of the Jimmy Pilkerton Fund committee. This year, we've allocated over $26,000 to be distributed among different charities around Nashville. We also have an additional $10,000 that it will be distributed in lieu of the Christmas party. There are two different charities that address hunger in Nashville that will receive $5,000 each. So let's learn a little bit more about these organizations.
The Nashville Food Project is an organization that my father, Jimmy Pilkerton, loved, and known originally as Mobile Loaves and Fishes. And I was wondering, for those that are new to the cause, if you could maybe explain the background and the story behind the food project.
The Nashville Food Project's mission is to bring people together to grow, cook, and share nourishing food with the goals of cultivating community and alleviating hunger in our city.
I'm a movement and I ain't losing. Gonna go, 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 go.
We are here today at One Generation Away, and we're talking with Chris Whitney. Thank you for being with us.
Man, it's such a privilege to be here.
I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what One Generation Away is, where the name came from, and give us a little history about it.
When we started, we were a little bitty church, maybe 10, 15 people, so I needed some help. So I called some pastor friends and say, hey, would you all be willing to help us? And then I realized, man, we could be a generation away from eliminating denominationalism. Like, we're separated by the names on our buildings. And if we could come across those lines and just serve our communities unconditionally, that would be a beautiful thing. So it's a generation away from eliminating racism, denominationalism, and poverty in America.
Can you kind of describe where your food comes from?
Yeah, so we work with Second Harvest Food Bank, Operation Blessing out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. We work with Feed the Children, Convoy of Hope. We rescue food from all kinds of stores here in town, Aldi, Whole Foods, Fresh Market, Publix, Kroger, GFS, restaurants like Carrabba's, Bonefish Grill, Outback Steakhouse.
Our food comes from a few different sources. We have a production farm in South Nashville. We call it the Community Farm at Mill Ridge. So we grow food there that we use in our kitchens to make the meals that we serve with the community. But then we also have a really robust food waste recovery program. So just this year, I believe we're at about 200,000 pounds of food that we've saved from various sources. So that might be restaurants, farms, grocers, conferences.
How has the organization had to adapt throughout 2020, just because this is such an unusual year?
We have a market garden called Growing Together, and that's all farmers who had previous experience growing, and we just help them get their product to market. All the farmers in that program came to the United States as refugees from Bhutan and Burma, and those communities have been hit especially hard with COVID. So one of the people affiliated with the farm came to us and said, our communities right now need the vegetables that these farmers are growing. So we were able to divert emergency funds to pay the farmers for their vegetables so that they could share that food in their community.
Well, the tornadoes, were one thing, and immediately come to work and think, all right, we've got to do something for tornado victims. So we did. We started to ramp up. We started taking food out to East Nashville and places and to give it away. Then COVID hit. You're sitting here looking at our shelves right now where we box food that goes out, emergency food boxes, and those go through social workers in Williamson County Schools and the Juvenile Justice Center here in Williamson County to families in need. So we would do about an average of 40 a week. 2 weeks after COVID started, we went from 40 to 600 boxes a week.
Wow.
And that was Williamson County Schools.
Wow.
And we did that all the way up until August.
In terms of when a financial contribution is made, which we're delighted and so thrilled that we can actually support your organization, if maybe you could offer some perspective on kind of how those incremental dollars are used to further your mission.
First of all, thank you so much. One of our biggest expenses, strangely, is containers to put food in. So to be able to cover the cost of those things. And right now, we went from big hotel serving pans to individually portioned meals that are safer that we can distribute. Dollars like that help us with infrastructure at the gardens, fencing that we need to keep the cows out at the farm, to build sheds, to have tools that the community gardeners can use. I mean, it's so many ways that we'll be able to make great use of that money.
Your gift is like 2 mobile pantries. I mean, that's like, you're talking 800 families getting like a grocery cart full of food.
That's sweet.
So that's a pretty big impact. That's a big footprint. Yeah, we're giving away.
Well, I mean, meals that is? Break it down into meals.
So 60,000. So you're looking at like over 50,000 meals.